So Feenixpawl, where did you guys get the name? Where did that originate?
Well, his middle name is Phoenix, and my middle name is Paul, and that's where we got it from. Like, I wish there was a better story, but there's not.
We tried making up more stories, but it just doesn't work. So.
Yeah. So we changed the spelling and created our own word, which is now Feenixpawl. So when you Google us, we're the only thing that comes up.
Simple enough, right there.
Simple enough.
So, is this your first time to the Gorge?
It is. It is.
So I feel like I'm about to fall in the Gorge, but
you know what? We are.
Yeah. It's an amazing festival, and it's one of the best venues we've ever been to.
The best thing about it is you can't create this artificially. You know, it doesn't matter what festival it is, how much money you have. You can't create that kind of backdrop. So you know, I can't wait to see the sunset over the Gorge. It's going to be amazing. So it's definitely one of the best places we've played for sure.
I mean,
we're not really signed to a specific.
We don't want to be.
Label, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So we're signed with a whole bunch of labels right now. It's just each track we'll give it to a different label, and we want to expand our horizons. You know what I mean? We don't want to be tied down with one label. So hopefully we can, you know, extend our career by working with a whole bunch of different people.
Who's somebody new that you haven't worked with that you'd really like to?
Someone new?
New?
That's a good question. I mean, there's a lot of people we want to work with. I mean, it's not necessarily about being someone new. I mean, our dream collaboration is with vocalists. It's not necessarily about electronic artists. So we're always looking for vocalists that are different. We don't want to make the same sort of stuff over and over. And we've always said that we wanted to work with Florence or Stevie Nicks or something like that, you know, because it's different. And I know they've done house tracks before, but they're not diva. They're not sort of riding the same sort of vocals, you know, put your hands up in the air kind of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we're always looking for something different. So. But
we want to create new music that people haven't heard before.
Exactly.
So if they're new and they haven't been discovered yet, come and find us. then we'll do that. We'll go from there.
So going back to In My Mind, you had Georgie K on that track, right? Where did you end up finding her? Like,
we found her on you know, Shazam.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were watching TV and we saw her singing on a commercial in Australia, and Aiden Shazammed her voice. And that's how we found her.
We found her on Twitter, and then we sent her a Twitter message.
Hit her up on Twitter, and that was
saying, "Can you come down to Melbourne and record something for us?" And she wasn't meant to record that song. She did something else, and then we took her into the studio with Ivan the day after because she was there for a week. So you know, we'll see what happens. And she wrote that vocal in like 5-10 minutes.
Not really. I used to, when I was like 19, 20, I was running a nightclub in Melbourne, Australia. And Aiden used to promote for me, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to bring like 2 people a week.
I wasn't very good.
He wasn't very popular.
I was not good.
So I met him through that, and then he sat me down one day and he goes, I really want to be a DJ. All right, like, we can make this happen.
I actually, the conversation went like this. I know you play it at Bliss Lounge, but I'm a better DJ than you. So you
really?
should put me on.
He thinks he's a better DJ than me.
Instead of you.
All right,
and then he said, okay, I will. And then it turned out that I was. And then he said, we should just team up. And that's how it happened.
You know, I could push you down. There's a gorge behind you. I could push you down right now.
Truth bomb.
And you won't live. It'll be game over. So yeah, that's how it happened. I refrained from killing him for about 8 years. That's how Feenixpawl came about.
Aiden, your brother, he's an electronic music artist as well.
Yeah, he was my older brother. He was a electronic producer, but he was more like sort of techno and like really deep house, that kind of thing.
His brother's really big in Colombia.
He's quite big in Colombia, and he's done a few tours there. But
so we thought, you know, why don't we combine forces?
But he's not so much like a, you know, all those people that are like a purist. He's not just like, I only make this kind of music and this is all I'm going to do. You know, he loves dance music in general. So he came over one day and we were just sort of mucking around on the couch, just sort of making music. And it's weird because a lot of times we'll do collaborations with people and it doesn't work out. And you know, no one will know that because, you know, a song never eventuates. But you know, we do collaborations with people all the time and it doesn't work. There's no connection, there's no chemistry. But with my brother, like,
yeah, with your brother it obviously works. I mean,
like,
obviously it's his brother,
and I'll say,
but I'm probably more of a brother to Jason than he is.
He's just shut up. He'll come up with an idea, and you know, you would say, no, that's shit, and I'll say something. He'll be like, no, that's shit.
You know I'm right.
And that's the way it works. I think that's the best part about collaborating with someone. Like, if you can tell someone that their idea is no good, and they can say something to you, and you can handle it, that's what works. Because
it's about honesty.
If you're too scared to say something, it doesn't work.
Then you push him down the hill.
Yeah, that's an easy solution.
That's an easy solution.
So since you guys, you know, have that connection with your brother, he has talent, is there an Australian house mafia in the near future?
No way!
No, but I tell you, we'll continue to make music with him for sure, 100%. I mean, it's rare to find someone that you make music with well. We found that with Ivan. We've got that with Jason, and we've got something.
I think the beauty of all of Australians at the moment, like Dirty South, Tommy Trash, us, Usual Suspects, or Marcos now, is that we all just look out for each other, and I think that's what's important. There's no mafia, there's no group that we're trying to form. We just bounce off each other and look after each other. I think that's the best part about it. Correct?
Correct.
So,
sure?
So when you're in the studio, you're producing. You know, there's two of you. A lot of producers, there's just one. I mean, we're seeing more and more. There's multiple people in the groups.
Yeah.
What's your guys' workflow, whether it's in the studio or in the live performance?
In terms of technicality, like the technical aspect of producing, no one will be better than this guy. Trust me.
I think
look, I can sketch ideas, but this guy is a genius.
I think the difference is that, like, with in terms of like collaborating with someone, like, it's still collaboration with us. It's not
we
like
can tell each other, like what we were saying before, we can tell each other what's shit and what isn't.
I think,
and we take it on board.
The key is, like, you can't do everything together. Sometimes you got to take something away and do it on your own.
Right.
And I think that's when you have the freedom to do what you want, and you can screw up 10 times and you can come up with one good thing. Whereas if there's someone always in your face, the creativity kind of lacks a little bit. I think you need to. For us, it's either you can spend 2 weeks in the studio together and come up with something good, or you can spend a day in the studio together drafting an idea, and then it could be 3 or 4 days of individual work, and then that's what
you always need to take a breather from each other. Definitely.
It's not really a problem, but we'd like to own our own label, because whatever we make and we believe in, that's what's going to come out, and we can release it whenever we want to release it. When you work with other labels, they have other tracks coming out, and there's a line, and sometimes you send something to someone and they'll say, oh, I think it needs this, and they might not necessarily be a music producer. They might just be coming from a label perspective and just like, look, I've been playing this for 3 months. This works. I know that this works, and this is what we want to release. And then there's always a little bit of clashing of heads. I mean, you can't be too precious over your own work. You have to be able to take criticism. But I think when we know something's good and we like it, we'd like to be able to. There's also a certain level
you need to get to before you can have your own label.
Oh, of course, I'm not saying that. I think that's just one of the problems. But the best thing about it is that we don't have the network to be able to promote our own tracks that much. And when you work with a big label, they've released such good music that when they release something or they promote something, people listen. I think that's the best thing about working with bigger labels, is that you give a sample to them, and then all of a sudden it's all over the internet. It's just spread, and they have the network that you don't have. So there's ups and downs, but I don't think we're ready for our own label yet, are we?
No, not yet.
What was that?
No.
You have a different opinion?
No, I don't.
You have no opinion at all? Okay.
No, you know what?
What is this?
It's not the same. I don't think there is really a sound that we make. I think our next probably 5 or 6 tracks are all different, which is good. We want to stay versatile and reach new markets.
It's the reason why we collaborate with people. We're not glory hogs. We don't just want all the glory to ourselves. We'll always look to collaborate with someone, because it always gives you a unique perspective on something that you've done. So our next 5 tracks are all different from each other. They're completely different. So we'll see how they go. We're excited about it. We're a little backlogged at the moment, so we just got to wait for them all to come out.
We're always backlogged.
That's a good way to be. I'd rather have too many tracks than not enough.
Yeah. That's it.
All right.
Hey, we're Feenixpawl.
And you're a Magnetic Mag.
Peace.